So it's cheese time.
Yay!
I am so excited we're doing this, but I'm even more excited that I didn't tell you we're doing this.
You did not. This is probably the best podcast surprise I've ever had.
You're like, I get a whole ass cheese board. So I am going to teach you how to make a cheese board.
Yay.
We're going to make it look super fancy and pretty.
Yay.
So what we have, just so we can go over all of the cheeses, is our honey whipped ricotta, which we do in-house. We had our truffle cheddar, and they actually did the work. So usually I make people break it up.
Oh.
But when Caitlin was setting this up, she went to the store. They already did all the work for us.
Oh, nice.
So we're getting a little spoiled here. Then we have our Fiscalini's cheddar, which we're gonna break down a little bit more. So we do have to do a little work there. And then we always do like a fun cheese. And so tonight we have burrata.
Fun.
Which is like one of my favorites and goes so good with like all of this. But we're gonna start with our kiwi.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show you how to do it, and then I'm gonna get it started, and then you're gonna take over.
Okay.
So first we're gonna make our kiwi flour. I don't even know what we really call it. I think we call it a flour. But basically you're gonna take this and you're gonna go a little more than halfway through, pull out, move over about a centimeter, and then do it again, and then move over about a centimeter, do it again, and then I'm gonna have you take over.
Okay.
We're gonna go all the way around.
All the way around this way.
Yes.
So like move over about a centimeter again, and then go
We'll
in.
just go straight in like you're
How
stabbing
deep are you
somebody.
going in?
A little more than halfway through.
Okay. Okay.
So you can go a little deeper than that.
Even deeper?
Yeah.
How can you tell? Because like the juice or what?
You can usually feel it or look at the knife, right?
So deep. Oh, I see.
Yeah, there you go.
Like there. Okay. Okay.
And then you're gonna go all the way around, and then eventually we're gonna connect the two.
Oh.
Well, that was a little more than.
That was deep. That was deep. I felt it.
When you come to the class too, you'll have like a leg up because you've already,
Yeah.
somewhat done it. But like, that's what you created.
It's so pretty.
It's
Seeds
so
freak
good.
me out, but it's gorgeous.
Well, this might be a husband snack then.
Yeah, no, I love the kiwi. I just don't stare at the kiwi.
As long as I don't have to look at it. Like before Instagram was like video, and before like Facebook really did like stuff like lives and stuff like that, she started doing lives, and she had a jingle at the beginning, and it was like it was so uncommon that we were just like, I remember her like just, I'm so used to it and being around it, but like my husband the first time was like, what the fuck is happening? And this is like during COVID too.
Yeah. Oh, so we
she's
were
like at her house and she's like doing this like jingle, and I don't even remember what it was, but I'm just like, she just like it was like it brought so much life, and I was like, I need one of those. But I
you're
just
literally the neighborhood. Like you just be your neighbors and friends. Here's a neighbor. Here's a friend. I don't know.
Like, there's so
many. You got so many options.
so many options. Yeah. But I think we might have to save that for season 3.
That's fine. We'll workshop it.
And by season 3, they'll be like a whole like, this is how we're introing.
That's how you do. I
think that's like the hardest thing sometimes is like where to start. And then you watch so many podcasts, and so like I'm like, oh, how did they start? What are they doing?
Yeah.
But I
know
the cheese and charcuterie works for us now.
It's cute. It is cute. I do like the interactive aspect of it.
I do too. And then like also it's great bribery. It gets people here and then they get to take it home.
I want that. Yes.
I can't tell you how many people are like, wait, I get a cheese board out of this?
Did you say that to me? Did I know that? This is news to me. I'm very excited, by the way.
I thought
I don't know if I am so, if it's something I'm like going to say yes to, especially with you, I'm like, yeah. I didn't look at the questions. I don't know. I'm just here for a good time, I'm just here for a good time.
I think like maybe I didn't because I was like so caught off guard.
No, it's
I was all like, when I saw you in Highland Park.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I literally was, every time I see you online, I'm like, oh, she's so busy.
No.
I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna tack her down.
It's not real.
It works.
Or if I was busy, I'm not now. It's such a mind warped. It's such a, like, you don't know what's real time and what's not real time.
That's true.
You know, and so it's like, I remember even I had posted a calendar post because I was like, I need to show people that I'm doing things, even though the things I'm doing, I honestly am not getting paid for, but it looks like I'm doing things. And I posted the calendar, and I had a friend was like, oh, she's booked and busy. And I did a video stitch to it because I was like, yes, but I'm not unavailable right now. Like, don't let this be this idea that she's so busy, she's so doing this. I literally just told you I quit my job, my daytime job, you know, the thing that was consistently paying me. And so we have this idea of like being booked and busy and how it looks online, but people are probably posting that busy season in their pajamas, binge watching Bridgerton, you know, like there's just so much we don't know because the concept of time is so warped.
That's true.
And the concept of our humanity is so warped when it comes to social media. I digress. Yeah, I'm like, I can be at times, but I also wouldn't mind being more busy or more aligned. I think more so. Less busy, more aligned.
I think that's because even in my like world, I feel like I'm constantly being told like, how do you do it all? Like you don't have time to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And then I miss out on opportunities because people think that I'm too busy.
But also you didn't ask me. I would have told you. But we have this perception of like, oh, look at her. She's unavailable. She's this, she's that. Ask people. DM them. Send a text, call a friend, you know, like because you may not be able to do it, but you also may be able to do it. And who's to say that our perception of people should block people from people's blessings? Not I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that's good. It's so funny because when I pulled up, which actually Kirsten, who I had on this morning, that's who I was going to see when I ran into you.
Fun.
But like when I pulled up, I think earlier that day I'd been sending invites to people and I was just like, let me get a few of these down first and then I'll send her a DM. And then, but like internally I was like, I don't know, like, is that going to work? And then the universe was like, bitch, she's right here. You're going to ask her right now. And so I feel like it was like a very much a moment of like what you're saying, like you have to ask. And I think that like people are put in people's lives at certain times in order to help them get aligned, to help them make sure that like they're able to, you know, really be like that timing is everything. And I like, even with like us talking about how you left a job that was unaligned, I'm like, wait, I got people. Like, let's figure this out. That's like way closer where you're not driving. I personally live 2 blocks from here. So for me personally, I hate driving. I'm like the worst driver ever. I have a really good friend who loves to drive and now she has to work with me because I don't like to drive that much.
I do love to drive. I think that's why I was like, I can do this commute. And with LA, like working in LA, being an artist, there are seasons where I'm like, you got to get to San Diego today, babe, you know? And so it's like, I love driving, but like having to do it ritually to something that felt so soul sucking with the contrast of both. I can't be both. I can't be going to something that's actively sucking my soul and the drive that's actively sucking my soul at the same time. So I do love to drive. So beep beep honk honk wherever we need to go.
I'm not. I will say the drive to Tahoe was a lot easier.
You drove there?
Yeah, we drove there and drove back. My car also drives itself, which is like the greatest thing ever. But you have to pay attention because it's like watching your eyes, and if you're not paying attention, it turns off, which I don't think that's how it should work.
While it's going?
Yes, like it'll like the car doesn't turn off. The auto drive turns off. But I'm like, but if you're not looking, I feel like you should stay on.
Yeah.
But like my car yells at you, which I learned too. When you're not paying attention, which I think is like really good, but let's keep driving
most
while you
definitely.
yell at me.
Toyotas do that too. They're like, need a break? And I'm like, no, because I'm from the Bay too. Well, Tahoe's a little further, but that Bay Area drive, that 5, I've done that for 10 years now.
Yeah, I saw your text message and I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Hello, Bay.
Yes, Bay Area 510 forever. Yeah.
My roommate in college was from the Bay Area, and like my first roommate. And when I tell you we were like so different but so the same, it was like the greatest.
Yeah.
Like that was like my first like intro to really understanding like Bay culture, because she was all about it, and I was like, I don't know what half of these words mean.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just like such an interesting like shift, but I'm just like,
it's like 2 different Californias. It really is.
Truly is. And I get the whole like Bay Area, SoCal, like difference.
Two different. Or even when, you know, your people are like, oh, I'm from the Bay, and you're like, where? And they say Tahoe or Sacramento. You're like, bro, that's Northern California. If you can't see the water, you're not from the Bay.
Yeah, don't claim
me. No. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had anybody from Tahoe tell me that they were from the Bay.
Good.
That I know. My roommate was from Palo Alto.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she very much was Bay Area. And I work with a few people in like different places. So Oakland and Berkeley are like a lot of like, I have a couple mentees up there, and it's so like interesting how like we're the same but we're so different. Yeah. But you know, I feel like Pasadena feels very similar to like Palo Alto. Like,
it does. Yeah. I love Pasadena. When I moved here, I went straight to school, so I was in Azusa for a while, and then I moved straight to Pasadena pretty much right after I graduated. I lived with a family in there, 5 kids at the time, up on Washington, and then I moved into the apartment that we're in now. And so been here since 2017. It's so home. Like, I love being able to get to downtown, do the LA city thing, and then get on back to my cute little Pasadena. That's the best.
It truly is like 2 different places.
Yes.
I love being in South Pasadena because downtown LA is 15 minutes away. So you can totally go do that. And then you're back here and it feels like
so different.
Yeah. And it like, I have 2 kids, so it's very like family oriented here.
Yeah.
I told my husband I wanted to live in downtown LA when we first were dating. And I took him to dinner there once, and he was like, he's from the Midwest. He was like, bitch,
no.
We are not doing
Absolutely
this.
not. My soul? No.
Yeah, not happening.
No.
I think that it's really good kind of like seeing different areas. And I think that there's like, for you being like a poet and being like an actress and stuff like that, did you know before you like moved down here that was like the direction you wanted to go in?
No. So when I moved here for college. I went to Azusa Pacific University, and I studied psychology. Like, that was my major. And then I was like, oh, what if I do theater also? I double major in both, because then I could do art therapy. This is also fresh coming off of, I went to Oakland School for the Arts. So 9th grade, halfway through, because I went to predominantly Christian schools before that, till I had to convince my parents that I was like meant for the arts. Like, put me in, coach, I'm ready. So I was like, if I audition for OSA and I get in, you can't tell me I can't go. So I auditioned, I got it, and that was my sophomore to senior year. And it was the most incredible. I feel like something unlocked inside of me. So if I had not had that experience right before college, I probably would have gone a very different route. But with that, like, on the forefront of my mind, I was like, oh, this is very much so a part of me, and I don't want to put it away completely. But I'm also the oldest child. I was the first to go, and I needed to set the example, So it's like, you can't just go full force into the arts. That's not what you do, right? And definitely not for a private Christian university. So I studied psychology and theater, and I was like, I'll be an art therapist, and I'll work with kids on the spectrum. I'll do play therapy, and that was the route. That was what I thought I was going to do. And I kept getting put on stage. I kept getting opportunities to perform. And the psychology thing felt less and less like the thing. So that when by the time I graduated, I was like, what if I do this artist thing? What if I try it, And, I don't know who says it or where it comes from, but it's like, if you want to know like what you're actually excited and passionate about, look at your child self. And we recently in my family were like watching our child videos and like all of us growing up, and there's just this raspy little girl voice in the background. Daddy, look at me. Daddy, did you get that? Daddy, over here. And it's me, and I have a feather boa and my clicky heels and a microphone, and any elevated platform in my house I was on and performing and making up songs. And my godmom always talks about, I created this alter ego. Her name was Erica Wallace. I don't know who that is, but little Arielle created her. And so I like to think that like I was always going to be Arielle Estoria, and Estoria is my middle name. I just kind of dropped the other 3 names that I have and use Arielle Estoria as my, not even a Sasha Fierce persona, but like that's just my creative self. That's just my artist self. And so when I graduated college, I was like, what if I just try to do this? And I kept getting snowball of opportunity after opportunity and door after door. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just run with this. And it doesn't mean that I wasn't also working as a barista, working at Jamba Juice, being, you know, a resident director for the summer at my college just to pay for, to have housing for free, that I wasn't nannying up until I met my husband, you know, like still very much so hustling. But I also was like, I think this is the thing. I don't know what that thing is or what it's supposed to turn into, but it feels very much so like I am constantly stepping into myself. And I went to a concert last night, Joseph Solomon, and he was like, oh, you know, when I think about where I feel the most alive, it's on stage, you know? And I always found that like I would be in these barista jobs or teaching jobs, and then I would also, like, I worked at a Mantra Coffee in Azusa for a long time, and then we would put on shows. So I would be a barista during the day, then I would go and be a poet. And so my coworker, after I performed, he was like, oh, there you are. And it was like, oh, that is exactly who I am. And I used to be so like, not insecure, but like I grew up, you know, you're humble, your gifts are for the God, and like none of it is about you. So I really dissociated myself from my art and from my gift, because it was like, this is not about me. This is not for me. You know, it's for everyone else. And I used to walk, not humble, just really small, and hearing constantly that like you awaken. There's a version of you that comes to life when you're on stage was so hard for a really long time. And then I just started to embrace it a little bit more. Like, this is me. And like watching those childhood videos recently, I was like, oh, I have always known who I was going to become. It was just a matter of like stepping into it, actually.
Yeah, I think it's hard. Something that you said earlier, the pressure of being the oldest, because I'm the oldest too. And it's like, you're supposed to be the example. You have to do this. You have to carry all of it.
Yes.
So I feel like constantly people ask, as we're on the 4th business that we're opening, which is this space. But people ask like, what gives you like joy? What do you like doing? And I'm like, literally this is what I love doing. I love hearing the stories. I love talking to people about like where they were, where they want to go, how they want to get there. I love mentoring. I love helping people grow their businesses. I've grown mine, and it's been difficult, but if it wasn't for the mistakes, and it wasn't for the journey, and if it wasn't for the people who helped me get here, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And so now at this point, it's like, how do I give back to others? And honestly, owning businesses is so draining, not just because it's a business, but like, there are so many things that I was not meant to do, right? Like as a business owner, you're doing 10 different things, and that's a lot in itself. Let alone having to do it like at the highest caliber in order for your business to grow, right? So I have to be like the best like finance person, the best marketer, the best, creator. I have to be incredible at social media, which is like a whole nother thing. And there's so many other roles that you also have to do. You have to be incredible at organization. You have to be incredible at follow-up, which is like a huge one, right? And so I think having those all of those things kind of come up for you as you're growing your business has been exhausting, but also the weight that I've had to carry because I'm the oldest.
Right.
So it's my responsibility to make sure that everybody is taken care of. And then I forget that I also need to be taken care of. Then we're going to take the orange or the mandarin and just grab a knife. And then what we're going to do is cut it like this.
Just like in half?
Just in half. So it creates something like that. The goal is to have a lot of different colors, textures, all of that good stuff. And what we're doing is basically getting all of our stuff ready, or as like if you want to be fancy, mise en place, right?
Yeah.
Getting it all together. And then now we're gonna play with our meat.
Okay. We love to.
Yes, that was. So we're gonna make roses. So if you want to grab this, one of these.
Okay, little cup and a little slam.
Yeah, a little slam, just one to start.
Okay.
And we're gonna roll it like a cigarette, a joint, whatever you want to call it. And that's gonna be like your first one.
Okay.
So you're creating something like this. Then you take this and right in the middle, you're gonna wrap it again. And then we're just gonna keep doing that until it doesn't wrap all the way around.
Okay.
Till it's too thick to fit in the salami.
Is this something you learned or is this something you created?
I definitely learned how to do salami roses. And then my friend Andrea, who also does this, there's like 100 different ways to do roses, and hers were just like perfect. And I could tell that when you eat them, they don't fall apart. So if you like have roses and they're not done this way, they're like folded in half or like on a cup or something. I don't like those, but they fall apart. Also, the whole rose falls apart when you do this. When you take a petal, only one like comes out. So now we're gonna undo the last few.
Okay.
And when we get to this point right here. Yeah, right there. We're gonna take this and go on the opposite side.
Can I put this?
Yeah. It's your board. You can do whatever you want.
All right, you're right. This side.
The other side. No.
This side.
Yeah, like the seam goes in the middle.
And then wrap backwards.
Yes.
Okay. And do the same for the rest?
Yeah, so now that they're kind of a little thicker, right?
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is now that there's this break, we're gonna take this and go right here and then move over, kind of like we're wrapping. And then we're doing another fold. So right here again, seam over, and now we're creating petals. So then we're looking for that.
I see the art.
Pulling it. And then you're creating like.
So here, right?
Yep. And then just keep going. Just going around in circles.
Okay.
And we're creating like all of our little petals.
Wow. That's gorgeous. Who knew meat could be so pretty?
We work with like Kids from Ability First, which is a nonprofit in Pasadena that works with adults with disabilities, and they do a lot of our prep work. And watching the like adults, I say kids because my little sister is, she has special needs, so she works with them. No, it's perfect, and then you can keep going. But like, seeing their joy when they literally are making these, they're like so stoked because they didn't realize like you could do this. Like they drew it on a piece of paper, but they're like, now I can do roses with meat.
Oh, I love that. Art is so fun. Creativity is so fun.
Just slide them in.
Like you got really good layers over there.
Yeah. Funny enough, I do this for a living.
Yeah, that's great. What's that white?
I don't do as many boards now. So
really?
It's so interesting though, seeing like my team when I go to do like an install for like our larger events and like seeing like they did them and I'm like, oh my God, these are so beautiful.
Yes, you taught them that.
Yeah, it's great. So now we have our salami roses.
Stunning.
One of the things that he like brought up was it's just like tiring to constantly be on, which not that I'm an influencer or anything. I guess this is going into other things, but Stems has a lot of people who follow them. And then, so there'll be constantly time when I'm out and people will be like, are you okay? And then I'm always like, I think I'm in trouble. So I don't know if I like want to say yes.
You're like, yes.
And then they'll be like, oh my God, I love you. Yeah. And then it's like they've created this person who I am, who I'm not. And then I'm just like, I so appreciate that you love me. But I'm not that person, you know? It's definitely like a weird kind of space to be in when people know you as somebody, but that's not who you are.
Yes.
So I'm like constantly, my goal is to show up as authentic as possible to kind of weed people out. And now I notice that the more that I cuss online, the less people ask me who I am. I do notice that people do know who I am, or like they'll notice or they'll whisper, especially at my kids' school. Like, and I actually did this rant because my kid's teacher wants us to go to like his book reports, right? And they're like 5 minutes long. And like I was like, I went on this rant about privilege and like being able to call out of work for a 5-minute project is privilege. And then on top of it, if you don't show up, my kid is so heartbroken. Like I didn't care, like other parents did. Right. It was like, I'm trying to put food on the table. Right. Like, and I'm like, this teacher has created this. So I went on this rant and then I went to pick up my kids and Mikey, who's my daughter, was like, oh, all the teachers saw you online today. I'm just like,
oh, yay.
That rant was for like other parents. Yeah. Like I wasn't trying to like, also I don't want to put my kid in like an awkward position because luckily he has a due teacher. So I feel like he probably didn't see it. Right. But it's like, it kind of reminds me of like, I try to be as authentic as possible, but my authenticity affects the people around me. Sure. So like, figuring out where those lines are and where to draw them.
And it's so hard too because like what we're experiencing people literally for half of themselves when we do it on a day-to-day basis. Like it's always so fun meeting people from social and real life because you're like, oh, I know this head, you know, you're like, come a little closer for me. But we have such this, like, we don't have a full picture of who people are. And I think that was like one of the things that was so impactful when people did meet me in real life or whatever, not on social. They were like, oh, you're like actually who you are on there in here. And I'm like, why would I not be? And I started calling it transcendent authenticity. That who I am is a through line. But I'm also not on all the time. So I did have like someone who I met online and we started hanging out in real life. And by the second hangout, she was like, oh, you're so quiet today. Is like everything okay? And I'm like, I'm good. We chilling. You know, we're driving around. We're going to the flower shop or we're doing coffee. And she was just like, oh, and then she asked again, like, are you good? And I was like, oh, this is a friendship that's asking me to be on the way I'm on in there. And that's not who I am all the time. It doesn't mean it's not who I am. You know I do turn that on. There's a part of me that lights up around people. And then there's a part of me that has those friends where we can just be together. I don't have to be on for you. I don't have to be Arielle Estoria for you. I can be Arielle Estoria Corfy, you know? And so that really is like, we have to realize we're literally getting half of people, and how limiting that is to the full scope of being human is something I don't think we're cognizant of like all the time because we're just so in our phones, you know, but it is strange. I had someone at Ralph's the other day and I was like turned around. I was like reaching for flowers and I just hear like, oh my gosh, I love your sweater. And I was like, thank you so much. And she like freaked out and I was like, are you Arielle Estoria? And I was like, oh no, my stomach is literally in my vagina right now. Like, I never know how to respond to people. I'm just enroused. Like, I'm not her right now, but I am. And I thought I knew her because of how personal her response was to me. So I was like, hey, girl, and just like hugged her. But I was like, I don't know this woman, and she doesn't really know me, but we had like a lovely conversation. But it's always so strange in those moments where it's like, oh, you experience me on a sometimes day-to-day basis, and this is my first interaction with you. And it's just so funny because like we interact with people online all the time, and we're like, oh yeah, I know you, but you're like, we don't. Like, we really don't. And so it's always just, yeah, I think that will always be the game of what is it, not interpersonal, but parasocial relationships, where it's like, I experience you, you experience me, and we're doing it in different ways, but then it crosses over in real time, and you realize the distance of the experience. And it's not a bad thing, and I always am like, what's your name? Like, because you know so much about me, and this is my first interaction with you. It's really interesting. But I love it. Also, at the same time, I never know what to do with it. It makes me very nervous and very giddy because a lot of it is like, who am I to be noticed, in Ralph's. But I was like, oh, and by the way, it's from Fashion of Women, like it's such a strange and beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's so interesting that you say that too, because it's like, I've had so many people be like, I feel so seen by you. And like, it's like, I was just ranting. I don't even think about what I'm doing. But I remember like, I want to say like a year ago, I was having some just rough times. I don't know, it was probably the universe. But every time like I would go on the internet, like a video from you would come up. And it was like a week straight of just like, it was just a hard week. And then like you were just saying what I needed to hear. And I remember leaving a comment of like being like, you don't even understand like how impactful this was. But I also think that like there's so many people who do that. And then it's like the pressure, the amount of like pressure that is on you, because I've been on the other end. Yeah. Like I try to be as cognizant as possible with people of like, yeah, that's what I needed in the moment, but I don't want to be too much because that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. Yeah. But I think there has been times where people have gotten like mad at me because they're like, I asked you a question and you haven't responded to me in like 4 days. And I had this like a month ago or something. And I was just like, look, I'm a mom of 2. Right. I got 4 businesses. Right. My husband doesn't live here. So like, I'm doing my best. Yeah. And like, I've shown up for you multiple times, probably detriment to me. I got to be very like intentional about boundaries moving forward. So I'm sorry for not setting that boundary and then making you feel some type of way. Yeah. But that like, it's like that weird like fandom of like, I want to be there and I want you to have a good experience of who I am. Yeah. But like, sometimes I have a hard time showing up for myself. Exactly. So how do I always show up for other people is like, I'm human. Yeah.
And these are also like, as beautiful as we are able to create these communities and have those resonant moments, you don't know me. And my husband, actually, he was like the first person, and it's funny because we met on Instagram, but he's like the person to always like remind me like, not everyone deserves the whole of you. And as someone who like wants to give so much to strangers, like I want to be in my DMs all the time. I want to be responding to people's like innermost, like I had a DM this morning, from the video I posted earlier this week of like, I've been caretaking my mom, and like my friends don't even say the things that I wanted to hear from your video. Like there's such a special place that I hold all that. And yet I also get to hold myself in a special place. Like, I take what I create so seriously, and I very intentionally think of the who, and it's so beautiful when I get to meet the who in real time. But I also am like, weirdly, I'm not thinking of you. I'm thinking of you, but I'm not thinking of you. It landed on you. And I'm so thankful that that work does that. But also it's like giving yourself, again, I call it preserving my humanhood, because at the end of the screen is a pulsing, beating heart person who wants just as much care and attention as you're demanding of me. I deserve that too. Mm-hmm. And also, you don't know me, but we demand so much from people digitally. It's so interesting. It's, again, beautiful, terrifying, messy, and interesting.
And then next we're gonna do prosciutto ribbons.
Yes.
This prosciutto is much better than the one they were using earlier.
Definitely
take your
prosciutto ribbons.
So what we're gonna do is we're taking our ribbon and then we're gonna fold these in half, like a paper airplane. I leave the paper on to start.
Okay.
And then once they're folded in half and that fattiness is sticking to the other side, then I start to peel.
Okay.
And you peel off.
Mine's not cooperating.
Not cooperating the same way. Honestly, prosciutto, I feel like, is one of those things that's a pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah, but she's like, I'm delicious, so.
She is delicious.
Get over it. Where should I take this?
Just fold it in half.
In half still?
Yeah, that way. There you go.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take it and you're gonna fold and hold. Fold and hold.
Fold and hold.
Fold and hold.
Fold and hold.
Fold and hold. Fold and hold. And then you have like a fan.
Schitt's Creek, where she's like, fold the cheese. He's like, what does that mean? Fold. You fold it. That's a janky looking ribbon.
It's not though.
Okay, just had to fan it out.
You just need to pull it out a little bit.
Okay. Let her breathe.
I'm like, we can do one more and then.
Okay.
The second one's always better.
Okay. I know what to do now. Refolds.
And then you have another one. There you go. See, that one is
gorgeous.
You can tell it's your second one.
Gorgeous.
So now the only thing left to do is cut up. Just break this part so it's a little bit more like a bite size. Smaller. Those ones are pretty good. These ones are a little. We want them to be bite size. Not too much.
Bite are we like
your bite because it's your board.
Great.
That's the best part.
Like, yeah.
I think the number one thing for me is not answering DMs on weekends. So like in my mind, and also like not having that expectation of others. So for me, if I think of something, I'm that person who like DMs somebody. I don't expect any response. It's just, I don't want to forget to do this because I forget to do everything else. But I think like for me, I've been very like intentional about trying to stay off of like my DMs on weekends and then at crazy times in the night. I used to be like that person who like wakes up at 4 a.m. and I'll respond to DMs. No. Because then people are like, 4 a.m. is early. Right. So like now they have the expectation of like from 4 to like 9 a.m. that I'm going.
Available. Yeah.
But one of my like non-negotiables is slow mornings. And so what I realize is if I respond to a DM at 4 a.m. and I do post a lot of my social early in the morning just to get it out of the way, but I don't feel like that interferes with my slow mornings because I'm not interacting at that time. I'm not engaging. I'm just doing my thing. And I don't want to respond to anything until after 10 a.m.
No, I literally just downloaded this app called App Lock, and you can set either app blocks like by day, you can set it by time, you can set it by I want to open Instagram only 2 days, 2 times this week, and after that you have to cut me off. So I've been playing around with it, and it's been very fun. And I've been trying to do like no social Sundays just at all, which was very hard yesterday, but I stuck to it, and I had to because the app block. So like the moment I try to open Instagram, app block is like, you can't be on here. And I did it. And it was so hard with the Super Bowl and like wanting to know what people were saying about, but I let myself stay off. But definitely that non-negotiable of like Sundays have become so sacred for me. And it's also like, because it is somewhat a job, like, or part of your job, you do have that pressure of feeling like you always have to be on. I always need to be available. I always got to be in the space. But just creatively, I need at least one day where I am just frolicking, roaming, existing, you know? And so that has become a non-negotiable. Also slow mornings. I have to be able to wake up, go do some type of movement before I'm scrolling. I am not waking up, grabbing my phone, sitting on the toilet. I will throw my whole day if I don't give myself that little sacred quiet of whatever, going for a walk, going into yoga. So that is definitely a non-negotiable. And then I have a husband who's like, I don't know, I deleted it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be on it, right now either. So he keeps me really grounded. But it also is just, again, that protecting your personhood. Like, what helps me touch base with reality and with myself? Because it gets so lost in there. I'd be losing myself. And then I'm like, what do I want to create? And I'm just watching other people's stuff. And then I start feeling like crap because I'm like, well, I didn't get invited to that brand trip. I don't have that opportunity. And then I'm like, who is this helping? Who is this for? You can't create from this space. So because I've just been in such a funk with social, I've really had to give myself that turn off time. And I feel like I love what I'm creating right now because it's coming from me and not what I'm exposed to necessarily. I am speaking to things because that's what an artist does, but I'm also returning to the well that is my own source and not everybody else's source.
No, I think that's so important to really like take the time away from the apt. The apt. I said to my husband earlier this week, I was like, it was on the Instagram, and he was like, the Instagram? I was like, boy, whatever. You know what I meant. Yeah, I think it's really important to be able to like turn off and turn on when necessary.
Yeah.
And I think also for me personally, having kids, the importance of the like screen time with kids, I feel like when I take it away from them and they are upset about it, that means there's been too much screen time, right? My kids are getting a lot better of like, I think there's been a lot of screen time. Why don't we turn this off? And what are some other things that we can do instead?
That's so good.
And then, the energy around like Instagram that grew our Instagram was me not wearing gloves. So this sounds like crazy. And like, hear me out on this.
Oh.
So us not wearing gloves to create content, which I'm not giving to anybody, right? But it would make people so angry, but it would make things go viral.
Yeah.
And so for me personally, that was like where it was at. It was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to grow.
Yeah.
The amount of people that are upset about it compared to the amount of people that are like, why are people upset about this? Is like where it's at.
Yeah.
But the amount of energy that it took to put into like, yeah, I would respond because it kept me like relevant. Right. And now it's like when somebody has a differing opinion, one, I don't do a lot of content where people see my hand. So we don't have to worry about gloves because a lot of my content is like actual like things that we're doing now. because I'm not stuck in my house because of COVID. Right. And the reality is I am wearing gloves, so it's not going to go viral anyways.
Yeah.
But the idea of blessing and blocking people has like, it is like my number one thing. And it will be like for the simplest things.
Yeah.
But it's like, if somebody just like says something that I'm just like, that just doesn't feel like it aligns with me. Bless, block, have a nice day. Like, I don't even need to.
Bless, block.
Because truly, it's like, I wish you the best.
Yes.
Bless, block.
You get to choose who has access to you, and we get to take like autonomy over that again in a space that feels like we have no like freedom on choosing that. But it's like, you stepped into my home telling me how to exist. That's really what it is. You know, like, you don't walk into someone's house and be like, why'd you put that painting there? Like, that's crazy, but that's essentially what we do on people's social medias. But it's because it reaches to just whoever it wants to reach to. And I think for me, I would get so in my head about the things people were saying. And my husband was like, who is this? And I'm like, well, they're just Angie. I don't know. Like, I don't know these people, and he don't know these people. So he's like, what? So he really grounds me, because I really do get so personal about it and so sensitive about it. But it's like, these people don't know me. They don't know where I live. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I'm doing in this exact moment. Like, that's crazy. So I think we get to choose we get to choose who has access to us, even if it's just on a social media comment.
I mean, kudos to husbands, because I feel like my husband's like the same way. He's just like, who is this? Yes. And then like, I'll go into like, so this person, and then like, I'm like, and then I started following them
because so-and-so posted this, and then we went to this event together once. Like,
then they told me this, and then they're feeling this, and my husband is like, bored. He's just like, what is happening? Like, is this reality TV? Yeah. Like, I just don't understand it. And he also like knows how to be like, who is that person? But then when he knows that I need it, he's like, oh no, we don't do that. And it's like, I don't like that she said that. Like, who, like, and he just kind of like, you know, is that protector that I need when I need it. Yeah. And he's so good at gauging like what it is that I need, which is really funny, because when I first started dating him, I swear I told this sounds horrible, but he's a Marine. And I said his feelings were like a box of crayons. So when I first met him, he was the 2-pack that you get at Denny's. He had happy and sad, and like then next thing you know, we were over at the 4-pack. Yes. A little bit more of emotion. And I remember when we got married, he was an 8-pack, and now he's like a 24-pack.
I love it.
And I just, for me, it's been so interesting, but also having a husband who, the other day, he asked me to describe what anxiety is because he doesn't know what it feels like. And I'm just like, 1, I wish I had no clue what this feels like. 2, it was interesting having to describe it to him. We decided to watch a Disney movie in order to better describe it to him. Because both me and my son have anxiety, and my daughter and my husband have zero fucks. They just live their best life. Out. Yes. Yep. The second
Perfect.
one.
Yep.
And so I think like having those moments of just like, nobody should bring you to that point of anxiety. Yeah. That's like, I don't need that energy in my space. Yeah. And I love the idea of being like, you don't get access to me.
Yeah.
So now that we have like all of the things, we just start to build.
Okay.
So the number one thing we want to do is put all of our big things on first.
Okay.
So that would be like our salami, our whipped ricotta, and our olives first. So I'm gonna let you.
This is a lot of pressure.
So my first suggestion would put the rose in the middle.
Okay. That's the centerpiece.
Yes.
Great.
And then you're gonna add a whipped ricotta.
Just anywhere.
On the side, that's perfect.
Okay.
And then now the olives and the cornichons.
Okay. You're gonna go, baby.
It's perfect. And then the next big thing is kiwis. We could either do both. It's a gigantic kiwi.
Mm-hmm.
So we could either do both of them or we could do one of them.
Let's do one and let's have her sit here.
See, that's perfect because like you have green over here, green over here.
Balance.
Now the next thing is to add all of our cheese. So usually what I do is like half of the cheddar here, half of the cheddar here.
Okay. This is the cheddar, right?
Yeah, that's cheddar.
So like in here.
Mm-hmm. And then the next thing is we'll add burrata. So we might want to pile these a little bit up higher because then it'll give you some more room for more stuff.
Okay.
So you can either put burrata there, you can do it in the back over here.
Just plop that thing all together.
Yeah, you can break it apart, but since you're traveling with this, I would say we would leave it like whole.
So I'm gonna stick her. Ooh.
Well, she's a little juicy.
Dense. Baby is thick. We're gonna squeeze her in here.
That's a great thing. She like squeezes.
Little fluffy pillow.
And then we're going to add these. But the one thing that I like about prosciutto is we only need to really add this. So we can like kind of
let it sit.
Stick it in there and kind of do it around right here.
Let her dance a little.
She doesn't need to take up all of the space.
Right.
And then now it's adding the good stuff, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
The
fruits.
The healthier things. The things that pair well with the cheeses.
Yeah. The balance.
So you can put oranges, mandarins. They're not oranges.
I do wonder if we're like more drawn to the like look of things or the taste of them, you know?
I think it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like for me personally though, if something doesn't look good, I don't want to eat it.
Oh, 100%.
Like I need that aesthetic. I need that
And I'm so like texture driven too. So textures are sometimes hard. I'm like, if it looks like it has a texture that's gonna give me an ick, I'm gonna be like, I'm good. Oh, runaway blueberry.
And the great thing too is like we have a ton of stuff, but you don't have to put everything on the board. You can totally take some of this, like the nuts, for example. I personally don't like nuts on my board. I would prefer them in a bowl next to it because then they stay crunchy.
Yes. I think also if it was like a naked like almond, I would be more inclined. But they feel like their own entity and it doesn't feel like it's a part of this. You know?
Stay on my board.
And like you get your own little moment, okay?
And then the most important part, which I always say is like garnish. So rosemary is always good. So making sure, and you can break these up. Some of these are kind of big, but kind of just finding the little areas, the little holes, gives them a little bit.
Smells delightful.
It also is really good with the cheese.
Oh,
and I feel like people don't.
Do you like?
You take the sprigs off and you put it with the cheese.
Whoa.
This with like the salami and a little bit of cheddar and a pickle.
Oh wow. Where do you stick these flowers? Wherever your heart desires.
Wherever your heart desires.
Okay.
And we're also gonna throw. We didn't.
Oh hell yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. A whole honeycomb.
Whole honeycomb.
Wow.
You can also take home the rest of this, and there's a bunch of honey in there. I'm like, you're my last person today. And then it's all done.
Wow. Look what we just made.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
Oh, strawberries. Do you like strawberries?
I do.
We should throw some strawberries on there. We can cut them in half too.
Yeah.
So then it gives you a little bit of texture.
Where are you going to go?
Oh, and then honey or mustard. Do you like mustard?
I do not.
Okay, then we'll keep it off. We can put it in a side
Let's
container.
do that because my husband loves some mustard. I am not a condiment person in general. I know. It's, again, it's a texture thing for me.
Like no mayo.
I would prefer no. And if I'm gonna do it, light. Like, you know, I grew up in California, so it's like I didn't start eating the In-N-Out sauce until my sophomore year of college. And even now, I still ask for it light. I'm like, can you light spread? Like, light
Good
mayo?
for you. I'm literally like, I need the packets. I need the extra packets.
No. And I'm like, I don't mind. Sure, a little aioli on a burger, but again, light. I'm not a
I mean, it allows you to really taste the burger.
Yeah.
So, good for you.
Absolutely.